second legs we go now of the second round of qualifying for the Europa Conference League with some clubs, big clubs, on the brink of elimination. That's right. Who am I talking about? I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at the second legs of the second round of qualifying for the Europa Conference League. That's right, who's on the brink of going home and who, of course, is on the brink of going through to the next round. We're going to get into it, all of it, in a second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe. You're also shot for European football, boys and girls, Pappen Rovers, world football. We're going to here under one Ruski. That's right, we've got the likes of AZ Alkmaar on the brink of elimination already, but the likes of Hajduk Split already also looking good to get through to the next round of games. Of course, we'll get into it, all of it in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. So what we're going to do now, though, is revisit those first legs, my predictions, the real scorelines, then jump into the second legs. And again, a whole bunch of games, so we're going to plow through these pretty quick fire. So let's get into it and have a look at what we're talking about. We're talking about this, guys. These are the first legs. 2 slides to go through. I did pretty shitty, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's have a look at it. Started with Balkani with a 4-2 win over Floriana. With a draw on that one. Hajduk Split could got a difficult second leg up ahead. They drew 1-1 with Zira. Levadia with a 1-0 win over Iberia. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Silkeborg could only draw with Akuri. 1-1 on there. I went with a 2-0 win myself. Differdange picking up a 1-0 away win against the New Saints. I went with the home side there. Ljubljana did beat Interclub Escaldes 4-2. I went with a 3-0 win. Pyunik only with a 0-0 draw against Milsamai. They'll go against second legs. Meanwhile, Dynamo City did pick up that 2-1 win over Athletic Escaldes to have the upper hand there. Stania with a draw against Zimbaru. Zalgiris with a 0-0 draw against Linfield. Rosenborg well in control against Banga Gargždai with a 5-0 win. I went with a 3-0 win on that one. Pyunik with a 2-1 win over Gori. I went with a draw myself. Speaking of draws, Ararat-Armenia picking up a 0-0 draw against University Cluj. I got a draw on that as well. Kano Zalgiris with a 1-1 draw against Valja Reykjavik. Meanwhile, Spartak Trnava picking up a 2-1 away win against Hibernians out of Malta. Got that one close to the money there. Meanwhile, Limassol did beat Pushkas 3-2. I went with the 1-0. Shamrock Rovers with a massive 4-0 win over St. Joseph FC. But the surprise result of that first leg was a 4-3 win for Ilves Tampere out of Finland. I went with a 3-0 away win. Got that one completely wrong. So big uphill task for AZ Alkmaar in that second leg. Meanwhile, Arda Kaldzhali 0-0 draw against HK Helsinki. I went with a 2-1 away win on that one. Meanwhile, October picking up a win against Spartak. Another big upset right there in that first leg. Major second leg coming at you for the Czech outfit. Arzan Naksavan with a 2-1 over Aris Saloniki. Meanwhile, AAK Salina picking up a 2-1 win over Paden Limasklod. Viking with a 7-0 win over Kopa. Wow, with just the 1-0. Meanwhile, Riga did beat Dila Gori 2-1. I went with a 2-0. And Sabah picking up a 2-0 away win against Petrocub. That's the first round of games, or first slide anyway. More. Let's have a look at them. Hammarby with a 0-0 draw against Sporting Charleroi out of Belgium. I went with the draw as well. Meanwhile, Jagiellonia Blauer-Stecht picking up a 2-1 win over Novi Pazar. I also went with the away win. Santa Clara surprised us all with a 2-1 away win against Polissya Sontima away from home. Meanwhile, Partizan also picking up an away win against Alexandria. Goodness gracious me. I mean, they can see it out of Cyprus with the 1-0 win over Topritio, Kukusai, but Istanbul Başakşehir picking up a 1-0 away win against Cherno Moravana. Istanbul Başakşehir picking up a 1-0 away win against Cherno Moravana. I went with a 2-0 win on that one. Meanwhile, Dungangan Swifts with a 1-0 win over Vaduz. Nõmme Grondo picking up a 3-2 win over Kusici. Athens picking up a win over Belshava there, 1-0. I went with a 3-1. Vazadin with a 2-1 win over Santa Clara. We got Paxi with a 1-0 win over Maribor. I went the other way. There was a draw between Radiciki and Klasvic. I went with the 1-1. It was a 0-0. Meanwhile, Torpedo Belzondondo picking up a draw against Maccabi Haifa. Austria Vienna did beat Spaeri 2-0. Got that one bang on the nose. Vazani with a 2-1 win over Vikinga Rikcevic. I went the other way, as did Vardar Skopje picking up a 2-1 win over Lausanne Sport. I went with the away side there. Beta Jerusalem 2-1 winners over Skutskia. Again, I went the other way. Ignatia Rosinha picking up a 2-0 win over Dynamo Minsk. Another surprise. Dundee United big win over UNA Strassen to keep themselves in the mix of their HP Tushaven. 1-1 draw against Brodenby. Another surprise. St. St. Patrick's Athletic with a 1-0 win over Nõmme Kalju. And Lana 0-0 draw against Pristina. I went with a home win. Raka Krushkova with a 3-0 win over Zelina. Got that one close to the mark there. Sarajevo did beat University Craiova 2-1. And the away win there. Rapid Vienna 2-0 winners over Deki Tuzi. Goodness gracious me. That brings you bang up to date with those games. But rest not, what not. We're going to go right back into the thick of things and predict those second legs as well as the aggregate scoreline. So we're going to go through the second legs again, quick fire. We haven't really got too much time to talk about the ins and the outs and all that. So it's just my gut instinct. And at the end of this, we'll recap and see who goes through on aggregate. Sit tight, hold on, and let's get into it. So Floriana against Balkan, I am going to go with a home win on that one, 2-1 win. We'll see what that means. Of course, aggregate scoreline, but it'll be a bit of a surprise to see those guys picking up the W. Meanwhile, Hajduk Split should beat Zida in the other home leg here over in Croatia. 3-0 winners comfortably done. Iberia also getting the draw against Levadia. Is that enough? We'll see. 1-1 in my eyes. KL Akudi and Silkeborg duking out. I'm going to go with the away side here. Silkeborg getting a cheeky away win there. Differdange against New Saints. I can't remember which way that went in the first legs, but I'm going to go with the hosts here. Differdange with the 2-1 win out of Luxembourg. So we'll see if they are right. Meanwhile, Ljubljana should come out on top with the win over Inter Club Ascaldes. 3-1 win on the night. What does that mean on aggregate? We'll have a look at that shortly. Meanwhile, Budapest and Nokia go to Masai, and they're going to win. 2-1 win in my eyes. Dynamo City with the home win, or the first leg win in their side there against Athletic Escaldos. They're going to make it back-to-back wins. 2-0 win for them, and that'll surely put them through. Meanwhile, Zimbaru against Astana. Quite a difficult game to call this one. I'm going to go with the 1-1 draw myself, which means, again, get your calculators out to see who goes through. Linfield out of Northern Ireland up against Zalgiris. Going to go 2-1 win for me on that one for the hosts. Will it be enough? Rosenborg probably already through after that comfortable first leg, but they're going to make it 3-0 in the second leg, and I think it might be 8-0 or something like that on aggregate. We'll have a look at that in just a second. Gori against Pyunik, another difficult one to call here. Going to go with a 2-1 away win for this. Again, we'll see who goes through. University Cluj against Ariad. I mean, another difficult one. Going to go with a 2-0 win for the hosts, and again, we'll see who will make it through to the next round. Valjo against Kalju Zalgiris, going with the Icelandics here with a win there. Spartak Trnava should also beat Hibernians out of Malta. Going to go with a 3-1 win for them. Pushkas against Limassol. I'm going to go with a draw on the night. 1-1. We'll see who goes through. Shamrock Rovers with a big win in the first leg. Going to make it another big win themselves. 3-0 win over St. Joseph to see them go out and the Irish club to go through. Meanwhile, AZ Alkmaar need to come back into this one. I'm going with a 4-1 win. Big win for them. And that should, I think, turn over the deficit from a surprise Ilves Tampere first leg. Meanwhile, HJK Helsinki, they'll also pick up a 2-0 win over Arda Kardzhali. Spartak Prague also picking up an away win, a home win to overturn that away deficit against FK Aktobi. Arias Salinki with a 2-0 win themselves at Azan Nakazavan themselves. Salina or AIK Salina with a 1-1 draw against Paid Limasknod. Not too sure who goes through there. FC Kopa losing though to Viking on the night. 3-1 in my eyes. Also Riga picking up a 1-0 away win against Dila Gori. And then finally Petrocub with a 2-1 win over Sabah. That's right. So those are the results in the second legs in my eyes this coming week. But what does that mean on aggregate? Let's get the calculators out and have a little look then, shall we? So starting with the top, we will see going through Balkano 5-4 on aggregate. Meanwhile, Hajduk Split will go through 4-1 comfortably. Meanwhile, Iberia will join them 2-1, as will Silkeborg with a 3-2 aggregate victory. Meanwhile, Differdange will go through, knocking out New Saints. Ljubljana should have done enough. 7-3 on aggregate in my eyes. Milsamai losing, of course, a 2-1 to Budapest Bognokia. Dynamo City should have enough in the tank. 4-1 win for them on aggregate. The tight one here, 2-2. Zimbu Astana will go to penalties. Astana will take it, and they will go through to the next round. Meanwhile, Linfield, they'll continue their European adventures with a surprise 2-1 win over Zalgiris. Meanwhile, Rosenborg comfortably through 8-0 as expected. Pyunik also picking up a 4-2 aggregate scoreline. University Cluj also going through 2-0 against Ararat-Armenia. Valjo will have enough in the tank. 2-1 in my eyes. Spartak Trnava also will go through quite comfortably. Limassol will go through with a bit of a squeaky bum time. 4-3 win over Pushkas. Shamrock Rovers, no problem. 7-0 in the end. AZ Alkmaar weight light work in the end. 7-5 over Ilves Tampere. HJK Helsinki also squeaking through. Let me back that up. Yeah, 2-0 win on aggregate. Sparta Prague also coming back into it. 4-3 over FK Aktobi. Arias Salinki also with a 3-2 win over Adias. they'll go through. ARK Salina 1-1 on the night, but they'll lose 3-1. Pedlem Sknod with that 2-0 first leg win. Viking also going through 10-1 after that 7-0 first leg scoreline. Riga will squeak through 2-2. It will be on the aggregate scoreline, penalty shootout. Riga going through, and then Petrocub also squeaking through 4-1 on aggregate. So that's the first batch of games. We've got another batch right here. We're going to start with Sporting Charleroi out of Belgium against Hammarby. Tight on this one. Going to go with the Belgian side here. 2-1 win for them at home. Is it enough? We'll see though. Jagiellonia Brestești out of Poland against FK Novi Pazar. Going to go with a 2-0 win for the hosts as well on this one. Santa Coloma also picking up a draw against Polissya. Santimi, will it be enough? We'll see. Partizan picking up a 3-1 win over FK Alexandria. I think from my memory that'll be enough for Partizan to go through. Meanwhile, Torpedo Kukakasi against Armenia Nicosia out of Cyprus. Going to go with a 2-1 away win for the Cypriot team there. Istanbul Başakşehir still got a bit of work to do. Going to go with a 3-0 win over Cherno Moravana, and that'll be enough, I think, in my eyes. Dungannon Swifts, they had an opening day win, or the first leg win, over against Fidesz. They're going to back it up with another win back in their own backyard. Nõmme Drondo against Koseci. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts on that one. Warszawa also going to come back into that one. I don't think they have enough though. 1-1 against AEK Athens. CD Santa Clara up against NK Valadzin. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts on this one. Maribor also picking up a win over Paxi. 2-0 win. Will that be enough? We'll see. KI Klashvik against FK Radeniki. Going to go with a 1-0 win for the hosts. We'll see. Maccabi Haifa out of Israel taking on Torpedo Bel Shadondo. Going to 2-0 win for the Israelis there. Spaeri with a win. Spaeri taking on Austria Vienna. You're going to fancy the Austrians on this one, 2-1 on the road. Vikingo Reykjavik up against FK Valzina. Going to go with a 3-1 win for the hosts. Lausanne Sport got a bit of work to do. I think they'll bounce back with a 2-0 win over Vadia Skopje in their own backyard. Another team out of Israel, Barator Jerusalem, 1-0 win over FK Skadushka. Is that going to be enough? Egnegia Rozonia with a win in the first leg. They're going to be taking on Dynamo Minsk again, this time in their own backyard. A draw should see them go through. Unistrassen out of Luxembourg against the Scots, Dundee United. This one's in Luxembourg. 2-1 win for Dundee United on the road. Broadon got a bit of work to do as well, up against HB Tushaven. I'm going with a 2-0 win as well for the hosts to see them, I think, go through. Normand Kardzhali against St. Patrick's Athletic. Going to go with an away win on this one. St. Patrick's keeping their dream alive. Pristina will take on Lana and they'll lose 2-1 on the night. We'll see if that seals their fate as well. And MSK Salina against Rakel Krushkova. Difficult game to call. Going to go with a 2-0 win for the host on that one. We'll see about that. And University Krakova against Sarajevo. Another tricky one to call. Going to go with a 1-0 win as well for the host on that one. And then finally, Rapid Vienna, also out of Austria, taking on Deki Tuzi. We're going to go with a 3-1 win for Rapid Vienna. But does that mean they go through? Well, we'll see. Here we go. Sit tight, hold on, and let's reveal the aggregate scoreline. Starting with Charleroi. They will go through 2-1 against Hammarby, of course, following on from that result. Jagiellonia Brestești will also go through 4-1 comfortably over Novi Pazar. Santa Coloma's draw against Polissya Zhytomyr in that second leg. We'll see them go through 3-2 to see them into the next round. Partizan comfortably through, I think, 5-1 on aggregate, as you can see right there. Meanwhile, Armenia Nicosia with an away win on the second leg, 3-1 win to seal their fate. Meanwhile, the Turkish outfit comfortably through 4-0 win over Cherno Moravana. Dungannon Swifts also will join them 3-0 on aggregate to set them up for another crack in Europe. Meanwhile, Nõmme Drondo also going through 5-3 goal bonanza in that game. Hapa Warszawa will go out. AEK Athens will continue. Santa Clara also going through via penalties, 3-3 on aggregate to squeak through there. Maribor have enough in the tag, 2-1 win over Paxi. KI Klasic also going through against FK Radeniki with just the 1-0. Maccabi Haifa out of Israel. They will go through 3-1 comfortably over Torpedo Zodondo. Austria Vienna also going through 4-1 on aggregate, quite comfortable. Vikingo Reykjavik will join them. 7-goal bonanza, 4-3 for them. Lausanne Sport bouncing back with a 3-2 aggregate scoreline over Vada Skopje. Barator Jerusalem, they will go through 3-1 against FK Shkunska. Egnatia Rosinha will also go through, knocking out Dynamo Minsk. Quite surprised there. 3-1 win for them on aggregate. Dundee United, they'll continue their journey. 3-1 for them over UNA Strassen out of Luxembourg. Brodenby also squeaking through. 3-1 win over the HP Tushaven in the end. St. Patrick's Athletic with a 1-0 win on the away day there. 2-0 win. They'll seal their fate. Lana also will join them. 2-1 win over Pristina with MSK Salina. losing 3-2 on aggregate. The Rakow Krushkova's away win, sorry, the home win, we'll see them through with a 3-0 compared to the 2-0 loss. Meanwhile, University of Krakova against Sarajevo will just about do it. 2-2 penalties. They'll go through, and Rapid Vienna will comfortably go through 5-1 against Tekik Tuzi. Goodness gracious me. That will complete the second round of qualifying, second legs, and of course we'll see some clubs going through to the next round, with some others ending their European adventure right here, of course, at this stage. But that is it, guys. Until then, we'll see you soon for the next round of games over the Europa Conference League. But until then, smash the old like, smash your subscribe. We'll see you soon when we return, but we're done.